See you guys back. Standing on the X.
I asked Coach Dawson this, but just to be back out there this spring after kind of thinking about how the world stopped a spring ago, I mean, how's it been just kind of reflect on what this last year's been like?
Man, it's been great for us, as a staff to get back out. Obviously, with the pandemic, we missed spring last year. Just the energy of the entire team and the coaching staff has picked up because we're back on the grass. Things that we love to do, being outside, playing football, coaching football, being around the guys has been great the last 2 days.
Does your job get easier when you have as much experience in your particular room as you do?
No, it's not. I take it as those guys. I coach those guys hard every single day. There's always something that those guys can learn from. There's always some type of detail that I want to fix with them. So I always try to keep those guys on edge to try to be the best that they can be on every single rep, on every play, in order for those guys to be great and successful. Right now I got some young guys, so I'm on the older guys to teach the younger guys right now.
How do those younger guys look?
They're coming around really excited about really the two that I have in right now. Fedoni, obviously, he's got high praise coming out of high school, but he's just a freshman, so I'm coaching him just as hard as the older guys. And then Carney right now, he'll be back. He's very limited right now. He'll be back here in 2 weeks to start taking full reps. But those guys, both of those guys have done a tremendous job of taking to coaching, understanding the details of what we're doing offensively. We threw the whole playbook at these guys, and those guys are picking it up. They're not as fast as far as understanding what's going on, so they're not moving as quick to pick things up, but they'll get there by the end of the spring. Well, the first 2 days for him is the game is faster than he's ever experienced in high school. So he's got to understand the pace of play, how guys move. They're bigger, faster, and they're stronger. And then all of the details that he wasn't coached in high school, he's got to understand. Details help you win routes. Detail help you win in the blocking scheme and all those different things. He's really starting to see, hey, Coach, I still don't know a whole bunch. So being a highly touted kid, he's very humble, and he's working extremely hard.
How much will the physical part be a challenge for a guy like Beckton? I mean, how much do you expect from him as a blocker right out of the gate?
Right out of the gate, I want to see him being able to make sure his hands and his footwork and his hand placement is correct. So we're really harping on the details of everything. If he could just understand and fit his hands and move at the right spot, he'll be able to couple guys up, and when he gets a little stronger, he'll be able to move guys. So right now, our focus with him and Carney as young guys who doesn't have the strength like the older guys, really detailing their footwork and hand placement so they can put their body on defenders in the run game, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Sean, the speculation with Fedoni was that you guys could use him in kind of a hybrid role as he grew into the tight end position and do things like a wideout when he was still gaining weight. Is that something that's as easy to do and put into practice as it is to just say it? And is that realistic for him in his first year?
No, it's going to be hard for him because he's still going to have to learn to play a normal tight end. So I'm really teaching him both right now. So right now for him, his teaching is accelerated. He's going to be better tomorrow on Friday than he was today, and that's the approach I'm taking with him. He's really worked hard to get himself here in this position that he's in. He's taken some 1 reps, he's taken some 2 reps, and he's taken a lot of 3 reps right now. And I'm moving him around quite a bit right now at the Y position and also split out at the R. So he's got to learn them both in order for him to be in the playing depth for us next year.
Austin Allen said the goal is to be a captain. What is his progression as a leader been like over the last couple of years?
Last year, I think he took the back seat of Jack Stoll. because Jack has been the leader of our group, and you can tell now that he's really taken over the group, and then he's really emerged. You could talk to Coach Frost about it, but he's really emerged as one of our captains on offense. I don't know how that's going to play out later on, but just the first 2 days and then all through winter conditioning, you can tell he was the guy that was organizing, leading the group. Guys that didn't have energy in the period today, Austin, got those guys going, and then we picked up the pace a little bit on offense. So I see him emerging as being one of the leaders on our offensive side of the ball.
He's one of your leading, he is your leading returning receiver, Austin
Yep.
Allen. But where does he need to improve his game? What are you pushing him to do?
He's an elite pass catcher, route runner. He really needs to continue to develop at the point of attack blocking. He's really made a lot of strides over the last 2 years. Really excited to see his strength gains translate to the field when we put the pads on Friday. He really increased his strength levels. You can tell just by looking at him and watching him doing things the first 2 days in shorts. Just got to translate over when we put the pads on Friday.
Coach Johnson just talking about how you guys use a lot of this extra time as an offense to kind of research and reevaluate how you guys do things. How does the tight end fit into that? And what's maybe kind of that next step as far as how you guys use the tight end in the offense?
Well, I spent a lot of time watching the tight end play across the country, whether it was college and the NFL. And there's obviously one of the good things about Coach Lubick. He wants you to bring information to him. So I made a cut up of some of the really good tight ends across the country. Pitts, for one, down in Florida, how they're using that guy. Because we got guys that can really catch the ball and can really get open. So we're going to implement some of those things as we're going along in the spring. And you should expect to see those guys getting the ball, vertically a little bit more. And then also in our quick passing game, get the ball out to those guys too. So we're excited about where we are with that position going forward.
How about Vokalek? Where do you want to see him improve?
I want to see Travis is really dominant in the passing as far as in the blocking scheme of things. He's just basically road grade. I don't know if you saw some of the clips last year. Very impressive, knocking guys 10 yards down the field. He's got to get better at understanding the entire offense. He's really Austin Allen has really helped him grow in our offensive scheme. Those guys have done a lot of studying together and understanding over the winter break as far as schemes of things, and really helped him play fast, which I've seen out of him. He made a couple adjustments yesterday that I hadn't gone over, but him and Austin being in the offense together, understanding, going through different things, he made the adjustment. I was so proud of him of that, because he now is figuring out the entire scheme and how we run things, what our rules are, and he doesn't have to adjust it out and think about it. He's not making as many mistakes as he did last year.
Do you think of your room as a strength of this team? Is that the way you guys, is that your mindset?
Of who?
The strength of this football team?
The tight end position? Yes. I told those guys yesterday when we started that I expect those guys to be one of the top tight end groups in the country. And that's the expectation I have. That's the expectation those guys have. And if they're not living up to that standard, I'm going to let them know on a daily basis. If they know, if they're not living up to it with the effort and the execution, Coach Beckton is going to be on their tail, and it's going to manifest throughout the rest of the offense and then the rest of the team. That's our goal.
Is this one of the deeper groups you've coached in your entire career? Tight ends, when you look back at the different teams you've been a part of?
Yeah, I think this ranks right up there with the depth. I can pull 4 to 5 guys out of my room right now and put them out there, and I feel confident about those guys being able to go out and execute. I have a receiver core down at UCF was probably as deep, but this group here is really very talented, and I expect those guys to do extremely well, and I'm excited for them to see how far they develop this spring.
Coach Dawson was out here talking about his new role in special teams. How have you seen him come in and take hold of that? What's been just different in terms of how you guys coordinate special teams? What's emphasized, things like that?
Well, it's to me, it's all the same. I've been coaching for a long time, and the assistant coaches really, help the special teams coach. And Last year, I don't think as a collective staff we did a great job assisting and doing our job. So we're putting that on us. We're not going to blame Coach Frost, all on everything. That's on us as assistants. And our job with Coach Dawson this year is to really get that phase of special teams cleaned up. So my job and the rest of the coaches' job has got to make sure we're in getting that, because we lost too many games around here in the special teams department. We got to do a better job as coaches. All right, we're not putting it on the kids, it's on us. We're going to demand those guys to be perfect in everything that they're doing so we can do better and have a better special team so we can win games.
Where did you feel like you guys as coaches were lacking last year?
Well, I just think that we didn't put forth the best effort, and that's on us. We are coach, and we're paid to coach, and when coach gives us an assignment, we got to do our job. Simple as that. It's just like me not coaching the tight ends. If I'm coaching the special teams unit, which I had a group last year, and we didn't get it done, that's on Coach Beckton. And Coach Dawson, we're going to back him this year, and we're going to be better on special teams, bar none. The tempo has been set from day one in our meeting, special teams meeting. We're going to be better there. Same thing on offense. We're going to be better. Defensively, we're going to be better. If we're not, we're going to demand it out of them every single day. They're going to make them do it again. For us to win games, we have to be better in every phase, offense, defense, special teams.
What is Ravdol gets sort of forgotten in these discussions? What does Ravdol bring to the table?
Kurt Ravdol is a steady player. He's a guy that's been kind of buried over the years with Jack Stoll and then Travis coming in last year. So he's one of those guys that does his job on a daily basis. Everybody forgets about him, but when he gets in there, he just makes plays, when he's in practice. So we'll see.
What's it say about a kid like that that's stuck in the program and didn't go into the portal?
Well, we'll see what happens with him. Down the road, kids get discouraged a little bit, and they want to jump ship. They jump ship. Next man's up. If he wants to stay here and participate, all those guys, Travis, Austin, all those guys, we've had some guys jump in the portal this year. All right, obviously, we don't want to lose anybody, but if they jump in the portal, we got to find the next man to step up and get the job done.
You have a large say in what happens with recruiting around, especially down south. The challenges over the last year with recruiting, and has there been any silver linings in that have come about as well?
A little bit. I think you spend a little bit more time trying to get to know the kids, the recruits, and the parents a little bit more than you really would, because it's a hustle and bustle. You're spending more time with Zooms, really get to know the parents. But it's nothing like being out and being able to engage and see the kids. It's harder for us as far as recruiting when you hadn't seen the kid physically do things. But it's probably been a silver lining to help us be more organized as a staff. So going forward, we're going to use some of the tactics that we did with the Zooms, with the parents, showing facilities, doing those type things with the playbook, down the road also. But it's still nothing like being out and physically seeing people and evaluating. All right, good. Thank you.